Welcome to Joe Draws again. I am Joe. When I started this vlog, what I mentioned is that I'm going to be honest about, what it takes for me to actually make art and all the challenges that I have to kind of roll through just to even get to the drawing table, which, anxiety, depression, ADHD, issues my MS brought in. Insomnia is one I didn't even mention, but is a massive one. I've had issues sleeping since my early 20s because there weren't good medications for MS at that time. And so when I was going through a pretty heavy episode, massive doses of steroids that I did take in order to end things, had long-lasting repercussions, and one of them is I have a very difficult time sleeping, falling asleep, staying asleep. When I can get a good night's sleep, I try and embrace that next day as much as I can. I know that's just one of my things that I have to try and work through, and so I will remain honest. I will remain open with talking about this, the challenges of me making artwork. I want to be out in the open. With this last couple weeks, since October started, there were a lot of things in my personal life that caused stress and anxiety, and that torpedoed my sleep, which in turn made it very, very difficult to begin this entire process, which was super difficult. Does not being able to obtain my goals and stuff like that make me want to stop and not do this? Hell no. I'm gonna keep doing this. I love the editing process. This has been so much fun. I've learned a ton already with these videos and doing editing, using editing software, filming little things, and so I'm not gonna quit. So the remainder of the month, I have to ask myself, what is this gonna look like? I'm not gonna do a drawing a day, obviously. I'm not gonna do a video a day, the whole daily vlog. In the future, it might be possible again to try that for a week or something like that, but for the time being, I want to try and get 2 videos a week. There might be 3. So that's going to be my goal. So going forward, there's 2 weeks left of October. So if I can get 2 more drawings done for this Drawlloween, great. I think that's a success. I had planned to get 1 or 2 pieces done for Gods and Monsters. I didn't get any. That show just happened last week. Beyond the Veil Seance art show, I just dropped off a single piece. I didn't get 2 done, but I did finish 1 piece. It was that cat planchette. So that's gonna happen next weekend. Will I be able to attend? I don't know, but that's just, how things are. I'm gonna work really hard trying to get a couple more pieces done, and that's the extent for this month. The month of November, I'm gonna go back to something I haven't talked about. It's a comic that has been in the works that I co-wrote with a good friend of mine, Paxton Dow. We finished the script a couple years ago. We had it reviewed, we had it edited, we had a ton of beta readers, and the story's solid, and it's a script for a comic book that I've been wanting to start working on, but with all of my issues that I have mentioned, I have not fully got into it. I finished 3 pages of just the line work, and I can kind of get into that and talk about where I'm at and start pushing to get more of those pages done. And I'm really excited to start sharing that, but I'm gonna wait until November before I start that process and just kind of focus on doing a few more illustrated pieces. You can see one on my screen behind me. It's a vampire one that I started a couple weeks ago and slowly just kind of putting a little bit more line into it. I started it in my sketchbook and I'm gonna try and finish it on the computer, and so that'll be 1 more Drawlloween piece done. And promoting everything on Instagram and Facebook is really challenging for me just to write those things, but I'll work on it and I'll get better. Raw footage, this is 5.5 minutes. I'm gonna edit this down. This is gonna be snappy. I'm gonna make this sound a lot better than what the actual full video was. But I'm gonna work more today on this vampire piece. So I finished up the drawing of the piece. I did a lot after I stopped the time lapse, where I went a ton, because the drawing is basically what you saw finished up. And I'll just turn that layer off, and this layer's on. I did not draw this. I just thought to do a quick detailed background. Photoshop has a new AI thing because everything has AI now. And so I typed in Art Nouveau frame and chose one, and then I went into it, manipulated it a little bit. Then I added in my sketch and changed it to a darker color on it. I'll show you what that looks like normal, but I like it better at darker color. As far as the adjustment layer, where was darken? There it is. So I think it just adds like a nice kind of extra depth to that little bit of iconography for the kind of the plant life behind it. And so I like how everything turned out. Then I added in just text and stuff like that to throw on Instagram to have my name and everything else on there. And I don't know what this layer is, so I'm just gonna delete that because it doesn't need to be in there. Okay, and then the other piece that I finished earlier today I didn't really show much of this. You might have seen it, just the sketch of it in a sketchbook on my desktop earlier, but I spent a few hours finishing this up over the weekend, and I brought it in here, got rid of most of it, honestly. Well, not most of it, I shouldn't say that, but so the full drawing, you can see when I turn that layer on, there's a full body in it, but I wasn't liking the costuming or the body itself, and I thought that it was just a lot stronger, the portrait of it, so I deleted that out, put in the text and everything else, and did an adjustment layer for the background here, just to create a little bit more orange instead of the natural color, because I just like the oranginess of it. And now I've got, so this was day 3 for Drawlloween Vampire. Okay, so I did the only other little bit of coloring that I did in here was just making the teeth and her eyes not white. I selected the color of, you can kind of see the brightness of the background behind her, and that's what I used to color in the eyes and the teeth, just to make that pop, since that's more the focal point of this illustration. And so yeah, and so I got Vampire for day 3, and I decided that this one worked for Green Lady, which is actually day 23. I was doing the sketch and was just trying to think, looking through the many days of the Drawlloween prompts and everything, and she's not green, but I added the plants in there. She's a lady, and I think it works for me, and that's all that matters. I'm really happy with how both of them turned out. I'm pleased with how they turned out, I think. Very pleased. And now I am going to be done for the day, start editing the video to put it all together. Well, this is definitely a very good, productive day getting stuff done. And thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate it. And thanks again for watching.